right, time for another update, and this is the one you've all been waiting for. The Film Lab Photochem in Burbank, California called me about 3 weeks ago to let me know that they had finished our scans. The work that the Film Lab did was they're basically taking raw film, feet and frames of film that was cut by a negative cutter, and they're scanning it. Before they can do the color correction, they have to do a conform. And so they have to get that on the timeline and then edit out the blank spots and then set up the dissolves and transitions. What we found, and this is something that I just didn't predict, was that the editors made some assumptions that they probably shouldn't have. This was a locked picture, and they basically, somebody unlocked it and made some executive decisions that kind of screwed things up a little bit. I suppose if I had been through this process before with a lab, I would have been a little bit more meticulous with the paperwork, but this right here is the paperwork that I sent to the negative cutter. I had to look at every single shot and write down in feet and frames from the beginning of the film to the end of the film. For example, shot number 1 starts at 4 feet and 32 frames to 27 feet and 17 frames. And then I had to write down the key code number, which is actually printed on the edge of the film, FN61 1358 4495 plus 19, and the end is similar. I had to write that down by hand for every shot. And then I had to write down 4 dissolves. Here's a dissolve that starts at 26 feet and 26 frames, and it ends at 28 feet and 9 frames. And that's a 64 frame dissolve. And I had to write all that out. And so what I did have was this handwritten list, and I sent that to them. Then we found that they had to do some rescans. And so those two things combined is what they sent me a couple of weeks ago. Since they had done some editing, I had to go back and check their conform to make sure that it was accurate. And what I found that there were a few mistakes. I had to recreate the Excel file version, and for every shot where there's a problem, I put a dash out there, and then I wrote specifically how many frames it was off. So where we're at now is I sent this list of requested fix-its. Hopefully in January we'll hear back from our account rep to find out what the status is, what their feedback is. That's the next step, and it's pretty easy. I think that an editor at the lab could probably get all this done within 2 to 4 hours. I really don't think it's going to take very long because I've got the specific instructions for every single shot. And I want to say it's like maybe 40 to 45 fixes, and yeah, half a day I think they'll be done, and then they just have to re-export and send it to us. That's all great news. I think this is great progress. I will mention that there was one other problem. The file that they send to me, which is a representation of all of the specks of dust that the scanner picks up. The dust specks that I saw in that file, they don't exactly match up with the picture, so I'm wondering if maybe there was an offset, some setting got thrown off, a 6 frame offset or a 24 frame offset or something like that, and nobody knew about it. I'm thinking that might be what it is, because when we did our test with other footage, everything matched up frame for frame. If it doesn't work out, all that means is I'm just going to have more manual dust busting work to do. So it's not a killer, but hopefully they'll be able to fix that as well. Yeah, so I guess that's about it. I just wanted to fill you in on where we're at with our footage. Scans are done, and we're just moving along with my conform, of their conform, of the negative conform. That's a lot of conforming, but in the end it's going to be good. More great news. The NBA season is starting up again. This is going to be, I can't remember if it's my 5th or my 6th season with the NBA, and our first regular season game starts on the 26th. So the day after Christmas, I'm going to be in San Antonio back at work. Really looking forward to that. So I wish everybody a good holiday season. 2020 has been pretty terrible, but we've got 2021 coming. Hope everybody has a great weekend, and thanks for sticking with me.